Batman versus Wolverine. It's an iconic fight, with one of the best fighters in DC going up against one of the greatest killers in Marvel. But who's ultimately coming out on top here? Really, is it even gonna be close? Let's get into it. Now, starting out, Batman. And I want to give him his flowers. The guy has trained himself until he's reached peak human physical levels, and then basically shattered all records and became above peak human. He's strong enough to bench press over 1,000 pounds, rip through metal, or even knock around things that easily weigh multiple tons. And Bruce has no problem using all that strength with his punches or kicks. He's regularly knocking down walls or kicking through metal, regularly knocking out metahumans, and sending people flying dozens of feet with just one strike. Batman might not necessarily look it, and he is supposed to be just a normal human, but you can kinda say that essentially whatever Captain America can do, Batman can pull off something similar. Sure, Steve might be ultimately a bit stronger, but Bruce is well within that super soldier range of strength. Same with durability. Batman is much more durable than you would think, especially with his incredible armor. Now, out of armor, Batman has taken some pretty nasty beatings, even an attack or two from Wonder Woman, so he's definitely tough. His Batsuit only adds to that even more. He's regularly taking attacks from all sorts of opponents, some of whom are seriously strong. Talking your Venom amped Banes, your Deathstrokes, even some much heavier hitters like Professor Zoom, Aquaman, or even Superman. And those last two were either mind controlled or just royally pissed off, so they weren't necessarily holding back all that much. Batman still managed to survive all those attacks, even if he came out the other side a little bloodied and beaten up. Lastly, I feel like I should mention speed. Batman is incredibly fast and agile, far superior to even Olympic level athletes. Like at this point, normal people simply move in slow motion to him. He can move so fast that he's just simply a blur. And Batman has routinely been able to dodge bullets and gunfire, even if it's automatic machine gun fire or bullets fired at literally point blank range. Batman can still dodge all of it. He might still call himself just a normal human, but I think it's pretty clear that he's moved a little past that by now. He's arguably the world's best fighter, and if you don't want to put him at the tippy top, well, you can count on one hand the people who are better than him. He's trained to perfection, become a master in every form of combat that there is. He can react and fight without even thinking, and is trained to be able to predict an opponent's move to the point where he knows his opponent's next move before even they do. He's an expert in every single fighting style known to man, a lot of other alien fighting styles too, and so he can quickly and effortlessly switch between fighting styles on the fly in order to perfectly counter and take down an opponent. He's been able to regularly fight against some of the best martial artists in the world, the likes of Lady Shiva, Bronze Tiger, Owlman, even Karate Kid. You know what? He oftentimes wins these fights. Like he's regularly been tested by the best assassins and martial artists in the world. Ra's al Ghul and Shiva are constantly trying to test Batman with the best of the best. They usually pick the most inopportune times, like when Batman is off his game or recovering from grievous injuries. But Batman still tends to come out on top every single time. There's a reason why he's known as the best of the best. He also comes equipped with pretty much every weapon and gadget you could possibly imagine, outside of guns and stuff, of course. He's got Batarang, his signature weapon, He's probably one of the world's best shots when it comes to throwing them. He's got some pretty serious explosives, some of which can stagger and knock back Kryptonians. He's got electrical weapons powerful enough to send out tens of thousands of volts, sonic grenades, even knockout gas or tranks that can put down superhumans. James Logan Howlett is Wolverine, a mutant and one of the most important members of the X-Men. Born in the 1800s with a remarkable healing factor, Logan has lived a lot of life, being a soldier, a samurai, an outlaw, and a living weapon formed by Task Force X. But now, Wolverine is at his best as a hero, working with both the X-Men and the Avengers to protect humanity and mutant kind from all sorts of threats. Being a mutant, well, one of Wolverine's mutant powers is superhuman abilities like super strength and speed. He's comparable in a lot of ways to Captain America himself, the original super soldier. And Logan's been able to actually overpower and throw around Spider-Man, Sabretooth. He's even literally thrown around Colossus before. He's able to easily tear through metal, snap steel chains. He's routinely able to pick up hundreds of pounds or even a few tons with relative ease, and has absolutely no problem with throwing around superhumans with his punches, even up to and including the likes of Vision and Namor. Yeah, Wolverine is surprisingly strong. He's also surprisingly fast. Like, Wolverine's got no problem with moving way faster than his opponents can even keep up with. And that even includes other superhumans, like Spider-Man, who's maybe the fastest and most agile street-level character in Marvel, while he's routinely surprised and caught off guard by Wolverine's speed and reflexes. He's able to routinely dodge or block bullets or laser blasts headed his way, even after the bullet's been fired or at point-blank range. But of course, to be fair, Wolverine doesn't always use this type of speed in fights. He can when he needs to, but he very rarely needs to dodge attacks because he knows he can always just simply take the attack and heal from it. In fact, sometimes he likes to take a few attacks at the start of a fight to get the blood flowing and get amped up, or he'll sometimes simply press the attack and go all offense and not have to worry about defense at all. And that leads into Wolverine's greatest power, his healing factor and durability. His skeleton is covered entirely in adamantium, which means that he literally cannot be cut or torn apart. And trust me, plenty of people have tried. It also greatly increases his durability too. Like, Wolverine's been kicked clean around the world, been just fine. He's taken all sorts of punches and attacks from some of the strongest beings on Earth, ranging from Hulk to Thor to plenty more, and he's been just fine. He can take bullets absolutely no problem. It really doesn't even faze him. He's able to keep on fighting while being all stabbed up or turned into a pincushion. Doesn't really do much. He's kept on fighting after having his heart destroyed on multiple occasions. He can heal and come back from literal disintegration. The guy's even survived nuclear bombs several times over. Wolverine is dang near impossible to put down. He might be injured, but Logan is always going to heal from it, and he's always going to come back, no matter what. And it's not just that Wolverine is this raging brute who solely relies on his healing factor, although he definitely does act like this from time to time. But he's actually one of the most skilled fighters and best warriors in the whole Marvel universe. His adamantium claws are able to shred through anything in their path. They can pierce through Hulk, Thor, Thanos, Gladiator, and as for less durable opponents, well, Wolverine can slice and dice them into little pieces in an instant. No problem. He's said to be an extremely deadly fighter, renowned across the universe for his skill. And he's skilled enough to casually defeat master martial artists and hold his own or even beat the likes of Captain America, Black Panther, Iron Fist, and Shang-Chi. So literally some of the best fighters in Marvel. And he only gets more dangerous and more deadly in his Berserker Rage. It's where he goes hyper-violent and becomes even more powerful and even more deadly, instantly overwhelming most any opponent in his path. And it's like compressing days of non-stop fighting into just a few minutes or seconds. In short, Wolverine is the best at what he does. And what he does isn't pretty. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now, right out of the gate, this is a fight between physical power and skills and weapons. That's pretty much what it comes down to if I had to boil it down to main advantages for each of them. Because clearly, obviously, Wolverine takes the physical edge over Batman. Even though all of his feats suggest otherwise, his strength, speed, durability are all off the charts for the normal human, Batman is still considered to be peak human. And because of that, he just obviously can't compare to Wolverine. I'm not even just talking about his durability and his healing factor. Batman doesn't even compare to Wolverine when it comes to strength or speed either. Now, it's not an absolutely insane margin, not like when it comes to durability, but Wolverine has consistently shown off that he's stronger and faster. Logan is more within that super soldier range of physical abilities, on par with your Captain Americas or your Deathstrokes. And for as good as Batman is, and for as much as he's trained his body, he's not there. But on the other hand, Batman has skill and gear on his side. No doubt about it, Batman is the better and more skilled fighter. He's arguably the world's best fighter. And if you don't want to put him up at the tippy top, well, you can count on one hand the people who are better than him. He's trained to perfection and become a master in every form of combat that there is. He can react and fight without even thinking, and is trained to be able to predict an opponent's move to the point where he knows his opponent's next move before even they do. Batman is just better here. No question about it. But here's the thing, Wolverine actually isn't a bad fighter. In fact, he's a really, really good fighter. He's got extensive knowledge of all different sorts of fighting styles. He's trained himself till he's able to casually beat master martial artists. He's got literal decades or centuries of fighting experience and is more than a match for Captain America, Daredevil, Black Panther, Iron Fist, all of the best fighters in Marvel. In fact, you can make a very solid argument that Wolverine is one of the top 10 best fighters in Marvel when he wants to be. Just the key word is when he wants to be. Because there are plenty of times where he'll get sloppy, loosen up and drop his guard because he knows he can take the punch. And several good fighters have pointed out to him before that he really does overly rely on his healing factor and doesn't always use his fighting skill to the best of his ability. Batman also has a lot more gear and weapons at his disposal. In fact, he pretty much comes equipped with every weapon and gadget you could possibly imagine, outside of guns and stuff, of course. He's got batarangs, his signature weapon, and he's probably one of the world's best shots when it comes to throwing them. He's got some pretty serious explosives, some of which can even stagger and knock back Kryptonians. He's got electrical weapons powerful enough to send out tens of thousands of volts, sonic grenades, even knockout gas or tranks that can put down superhumans. And with those weapons and with that skill, well, Batman has been able to beat basically every other street level character in DC Comics. And he didn't stop there. He's taken down plenty of villains and some heroes who are way outside of his normal pay grade. So it's possible that he could do the same thing here with Wolverine. But that's when you get into Wolverine's healing factor. Because let's be real, there's nothing in Batman's arsenal that's actually going to put Wolverine down and keep him down. My man is taking punches from World War Hulk like it's Rock'em Sock'em robots. He's been hit with nuclear bombs, literal disintegration rays. An explosive batarang isn't going to do anything to him. Shooting him up with electricity is just going to make Wolverine even more angry. Sure, Wolverine's healing factor means that Batman can go all out and actually cut loose for once, but it's really hard to say that that's gonna go in Batman's favor. Because while Batman can cause Wolverine some damage and give him some injuries that he's gotta heal back from, all that's doing is forcing Logan to take the fight more and more seriously and get more and more pissed off. And you really don't want to see Wolverine when he goes into that berserker rage. There's no coming back from that one. And of course, all this isn't even mentioning that all Wolverine has to do is land one hit. Just one. And he's won the fight. If he can get Batman just one time with his claws in the gut, or just simply one good hit, that's more than enough to swing the fight in his favor. Now, just one claw swipe isn't likely to actually put Batman down immediately, but Bruce has to fight such a perfect fight to counteract Wolverine's healing factor that if he just gets tagged one time, that might do it for him. And Wolverine is definitely fast enough and skilled enough to do it. He's regularly tagged a lot of the best fighters in Marvel. He's going to be able to do it to Batman too. Give Bruce any level of prep time, and I bet he can win. All he has to do is just turn the Batmobile into a giant magnet and then drive it into the river. But in a straight up random fight, well then Wolverine is coming out on top pretty much every single time. He's stronger, he's faster, he's still incredibly skilled and experienced, even compared to a master like Batman. His adamantium claws are going to be able to do a lot more damage to Bruce than anything in Batman's arsenal can do to Logan, and Wolverine's healing factor is going to ensure that no matter what, he's always going to come back, and he's going to come back angry. Wolverine wins, and it might not even be close. But what do y'all think? Sound off in the comments down below. I know you're going to have thoughts and feelings on this one for sure. If you stuck around this long and made it to the end of the video, that's amazing. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to go subscribe, well, go subscribe. You're going to see more videos like this one every single week. I'll see y'all then. I'll see y'all next time.